quarrel among the senses. In the cosmic temple of the self, the senses gathered to argue which among them was the greatest. In this sacred space, each sense, embodied as a divine being, was about to make its claim. At the center of the temple glowed the orb of the self, symbolizing the unity of all existence. Vak, the deity of speech, stood surrounded by flames, representing the power of communication and the inner fire of consciousness. With bold confidence, Vak proclaimed, "I am the greatest. Without speech, none can express or communicate their thoughts and emotions." Next to speak was Chakshu, the deity of sight. His eyes radiated light like the sun, and his form glowed with the brilliance of solar energy. Chakshu asserted, "It is sight that holds the highest place. Without vision, the world is dark, and no beauty can be seen." Shravana, the deity of hearing, with celestial ears echoing the sounds of the cosmos, stepped forward. In a voice that resonated with the music of the universe, he declared, "Hearing is the most important. Without sound, there is no knowledge of rhythm, music, or the spoken word." Manas, the deity of the mind, whose aura was a swirling vortex of thoughts and reflections, offered his perspective. With calm and contemplation, he said, "It is the mind that leads all senses. Without the mind, there is no awareness, no thoughts, no understanding." Prana, the deity of life force, stood silently, almost invisible, observing the quarrel with serene calm. Though he did not speak, his presence was undeniable, for he was the very breath of life that flowed through all beings. As the argument among the senses intensified, Vak decided to prove his importance. To demonstrate his value, Vak withdrew his presence from the cosmic temple. As he did, the once brilliant flames of speech that surrounded him began to fade, leaving the temple in a heavy, oppressive silence. The central figure, now mute, struggled desperately to communicate, but no words came forth. The air was thick with the weight of unspoken thoughts, and the figure's frustration grew as they grappled with the sudden loss of their voice. Chakshu, not wanting to be outdone, withdrew his light. The temple was plunged into darkness, and the central figure lost their ability to see, fumbling blindly in the void. Shravana, too, turned away, taking all sound with him. The temple became eerily quiet, and the central figure was isolated in complete silence, unable to hear the world around them. Manas, the mind, followed suit, withdrawing his contemplative energy. The central figure fell unconscious, disconnected from thought and awareness, lying still and unresponsive. Finally, Prana, the life force, prepared to leave. The temple grew tense, for the other senses knew that without Prana, there would be no life at all. The central figure gasped for air, their vitality slipping away, and the temple began to grow cold and lifeless. Realizing the gravity of the situation, the senses grew desperate. They understood that without prana, their own powers were meaningless. One by one, they humbly acknowledged their dependence on the life force. Prana, with calm reassurance, returned to the temple. His essence flowed back into the body of the central figure, restoring breath and vitality. The temple once again glowed with life as the senses bowed in respect to Prana. Vak, her flames now gentle, apologized for her arrogance. Chakshu dimmed his radiant light in humility. Shravana stood in silent reverence, and Manas reflected on the unity of all the senses. In the end, the senses took their places on their thrones in the cosmic temple, with Prana at the center, exuding calm and balance. The self glowed with unity, and the temple was filled with harmonious light. The senses, now unified, recognized that their strength came not from their individual powers, but from their interconnectedness with the life force that flowed through them all.